when you get born again, the first thing you need to do is you leave those kinds of sins. In other words, when you get born again, you now have a conscience that when you're about to do something wrong, it alerts you. That conscience is the law of the Spirit of life on the inside of you in Christ. You're no longer spiritually dead. You're no longer under the law of sin and death. Now, as I talked about last week, when you get to Romans 8, it says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus. What he's saying is, you're now no longer like the Romans 7 guy, who is an example of a guy who's spiritually dead, and he's commanded to keep a law that he can't keep. So when the law says don't lust, he says, oh man, you're killing me, because the more you tell me not to lust, the more I lust. And therefore, that's his condemnation, is that he's a sinner commanded to keep a command he can't keep, and when he doesn't keep it, he's doomed. He's a sinner. He's lost. He's going to be in hell forever. That's the condemnation, is being forced by God because you want to. You want to follow God. God says, obey this law. So you're like, yes, God, I want you. I want to obey it. And then you try to obey it and you find out you can't, and you find out you're condemned. And that was a big reason the law was given. Was, picture it like a court case. God is in court proving that you are a sinner. He gave you a command that righteous people can keep, and since you couldn't keep it, he proved you are a sinner. But glory be to God. Talk about the love of God. He then took all that judgment that he now proved in a court of law that you are guilty of, and he poured all that judgment onto one man, Jesus Christ. And therefore, you and I got to go free. We got to be born again, and we got to be born again with the same life Jesus now has. So when he gets to Romans 8, he says, there is therefore now no condemnation. I'm no longer condemned and forced to commit a sin that kills me for eternity. Oh, in Jesus Christ, we've been set free to now live righteous. Now, the law I want to obey, I can obey it. Oh, and that is just beautiful, and I love it.